Welcome into All Things. We are happy to be back in the studio today. Today, talking about all things time management. Yay. And you might be listening to this podcast on a 1.25 or 1.5 to save time.
I am a 1.25 times.
Yeah,
It gets
same.
faster than that. I start struggling to keep up.
Me too. And we aren't professing to be perfect in time management. We have learned a lot over the past 19 years of marriage. And
4 kids.
Yeah, four
Yeah.
kids, 13 and a half years of pastoring. We have done time management poorly a few times in that span. And I'll say that God knows the end from the beginning. And about 2.5 years ago, I made a career shift. And my new job, I largely get to set my own schedule versus when I was at a public school teaching, every single minute of your day is planned for you. And I'm so grateful for the new flexibility I have. But I think God knew 10 years ago I wouldn't have been ready to have that much flexibility. I don't think I would have managed it well. So his timing and his time management is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect with 4 kids and multiple jobs and all that we have going. We might use this phrase often, and I was going to joke that I'm sorry I was running late today. I lost track of time, or the diaper exploded as we were leaving the house. It does happen, and so this is a lot like balance. It's something you're continuously working on and towards.
Yeah.
The Bible does have a lot to say about time management. It doesn't use those words exactly, but the principles throughout the Scripture are there on multiple occasions, and we're gonna highlight some of those
Yeah.
as we walk through this today. But Ephesians talks to us about in chapter 5, verse 15 and 16. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time. Or King James Version says redeeming the time.
Love that.
Because the days are evil. So it's talking to us about using our time wisely and realizing that we do need to manage our time. And it's a lot about squeezing. It's not just squeezing productivity, but it's about stewarding a gift that God has entrusted to us with. That God has given us the gift of time.
Yeah, that's so true. So before we get started we've already kind of tried to start a little bit here because it's a topic that can run our passions. But let's do our questions real quick. I found some questions that are specific to time. And of course, these are not plausible, but fun to think about. So would you rather have no energy but endless time, or no time but endless energy?
Oh, wow. No energy, but endless time. I feel like I would be operating like a sloth, just on a super slow pace. And you nor I operate at a super slow pace. And so I would have to say the opposite, the endless energy.
Yes, I would have endless energy too, because at least if I had no time, I would feel good about it.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather be able to travel back in time to any time period, or be able to pause time around you?
Pause time around me.
Yeah, all the procrastinators are saying
Absolutely.
pause time.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about procrastination
Exactly
today.
right.
Yes.
Time is a gift from God. This is the day the Lord hath made. I feel like preaching. I feel my help coming on. This is the day the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Every day is a God-given opportunity. Every day we get the gift of time, and we're accountable for how we use it.
True.
And we all have stories of poor time management. We can probably think of 20 stories about other people. We've got our own stories. We've messed up. We've double booked. We've run late to an event. It's not fun. It's added stress. And so hopefully today one of us can say something that'll help all of us with maybe our time management, or at least realize we need to do better in some areas.
Yeah, so there's like the very basic stuff. And it sounds basic, but we still don't do it like it's basic. Like, getting your clothes out the night before, asking yourself, what can I do now to help myself be successful tomorrow? we've been telling our kids lately, leaders do not procrastinate anything, personal or work, personal or professional. You can't consistently put off things that you need to do, texts or emails you need to send, or nitty gritty like laundry, dishes. You can't be a procrastinator and a leader, even if it's just leading yourself. Lead yourself well enough to not procrastinate. Proverbs says, don't leave that till tomorrow, what you can do
What
today.
you can do today.
And procrastination doesn't make you a bad person. I don't want to come across that way. It's
Sinner.
natural. It's natural. It's human to put off things
Yeah,
that aren't fun
absolutely.
or they don't bring a certain level of joy or satisfaction. It's human nature. Just you have to have self-discipline to tell yourself, get over that. Get over it. And once you start living a life free of procrastination, it does get easier.
I've been on the kids. Obviously, school's just started back, and we're all trying to be on the do right list, get up on time, don't hit the snooze button 26 times before we roll out of bed. And so we've been on the kids about making good choices the night before. That's really where you can get ahead of tomorrow if you can do some things tonight. So we tell them, have their items out they'll need for in the morning. Lay your clothes out you're going to put on in the morning. Go ahead and get your lunch started that you can and have things ready. Know where your shoes are at the night before. So Tuesday morning when you're getting up for school, you're not running around the house saying, I can't find my shoes.
Yep.
We've all been there. We've all done that.
And the socks.
And the socks. But Vaughn is probably the best. I'll make sure, hey, do you have everything out for tomorrow? Yes, sir. I've already got it on.
Yep.
And so he just puts it on. He sleeps in it so he can roll out of bed, brush his teeth, and make sure bedhead's not too bad and head out the door. So I was thinking to be a kid again would be so nice. Can you imagine on a Sunday morning, me rolling out of bed? I've got my suit and tie already on, and I brush my teeth and I hit the door ready for church. So that would
as long as you brush those teeth,
that would be nice. Yeah.
Actually, a lot of times the boys will do that. Not just Vaughn, but Vaughn does it the most. But when Max was younger, he broke his collarbone, and getting shirts off and on was a whole ordeal because it hurt him. So that's when I kind of stopped buying pajamas for the kids because I realized, it doesn't hurt for them to wear the same T-shirt to bed that
That's
they're going to
right.
wear to school tomorrow. So
A couple of tips for everyday life for all of us out there. Some things to throw out that we try to do. Now, I'm a big post-it note checklist. Like to do that. But there's priorities every day. Don't just schedule, but ask what's the most important thing I have to do today. Knock the big things out. It's like the big rocks principle. Put the most important things in the jar first. God, family, rest. Then let all the small stuff filter in around. Sabbath rest. It's a part of time management. I'm big on margin in budgets. In time management, it's the exact same. Build in margin so you're not always running on empty. Use a stop doing list. Not everything you have to do. Not everything deserves your time, and not everything deserves your attention. So there's some couple of tips. Maybe it'll help some of us out there to in scheduling and utilizing our time management well.
I love that. The stop doing list. Not everything deserves your time. And even some things that are fun, it still doesn't deserve your time. Like endless scrolling on social or shows, etc. Like, does it deserve your time? That's a good question to ask. The best thing I ever read in a PD article was to only read anything once. Whether it's a text, email, phone call, if it's in your power to take care of that task at that moment, at the moment you read the email or read the text, do it. Do not put it off. If it's, hey, can you share this file with me? Or can you complete this? Do it right then. If there's nothing hindering you from doing it at that moment, get it over with, move on to the better things in your day. So last week, I guess it's 2 weeks ago, my work, we had a convocation event, and I was finishing up a few things in the office, and the event had just been that morning. and the college sent out a survey, and it said, could you please complete this 2-minute survey and turn it in by, let's say, today, August 25th. It was like a while. It gave me like 2 weeks to do it. It gave me 2 weeks to do the 2-minute survey. Me 7-8 years ago, I probably would have been like, I'll do that tomorrow, because I really was ready to go home, but I remembered my time management training, and I'm like, nope, I can do this 2-minute survey right now, and I'll never have to think about it again. And so I did procrastinate recently, though, at work. I really didn't want to go get my parking sticker, and I knew I had this podcast coming up, so I was like, I'm going to see how long I will let myself procrastinate. I still went and got it. And then I was like, I'm going to see how long I'll let myself procrastinate putting it on. It was about 48 hours. So, but yeah, procrastination it's a killer. Something I do when I have like an ultra busy day coming up, or we have a Sunday with a lot of moving parts and segments, and we know we've got a lot to get in a short amount of time, I'll study the details of the day and go through it several times, start to finish. And when we get there and walk through it, it's like I've already been there because I've played it out so many times already. I use a schedule and a planner. Whether it's digital or hard copy, I would recommend everybody get one. Even if you think you're managing okay without it, you could maybe manage really well with one.
Or realize even where some holes are at
Yeah.
in your scheduling and your time management.
I have a hard copy, so I'm kind of old. And this podcast is on there. I wrote in there this podcast, and tomorrow I will mark it off my tasks. And that my family knows that's how I keep up with things. But we do have a shared Google Calendar that I update. I don't update it as daily as my hard copy. But Emma the other day came to me and said, this event is coming up, but I see that Dad's going to be out of town. And so they let me know that our shared calendar was working. And we're not overlapping too heavily. So that was a win.
I messed up on my Google Calendar today. I actually had added something, but then got busy and didn't set an alert to go off 15 minutes before. And I missed a Zoom call of just something I wanted to learn about that was going to be offered online, and I didn't make it. So I'm hoping they'll put that out so I can learn a little bit later. But it's one thing to put it on your calendar. It's another thing to set alerts and follow through and actually make sure you do it. That's why I love the Post-it notes. I love running my pen through something saying I did that. So
it's like a free dopamine boost, I hear.
Absolutely. You've been wanting the porches blown off for 6 months. And this past Saturday, I finally did that, and I checked it off my list. It felt so good. 6 months it was on there, but it's gone now.
But it's going to come back, though. They're going to get dirty again.
So a couple of when we think of investments, we think of putting money into something and thinking about it growing, multiplying, even some time investments. I could invest time into certain places and it grow. And one of those is an investment of time into spiritual things, daily prayer, scripture, worship. These items can multiply peace. They can multiply wisdom and discernment.
Yeah.
There's relationship investment. It's worth my time for me to invest my time into my relationship with my spouse, going on trips, going on dates. I want to invest into the relationship by putting time into my children, my friends, my church family. These things build a legacy when I invest time there. Personal growth, reading, learning, developing skills, when I put time there, helps me steward the gifts that God's given to me. And then we talked about the Sabbath earlier. I want to put time into rest and renewal, an investment there. Sleep, Sabbath, exercise, because you can't give your best if you're drained. It's kind of like back to your would you rather question. If I got all the time in the world, but I have no energy, I'm not going to be giving my best. So a couple of things I wanted to mention and share and just run through. If you don't manage your time, someone else will. Mm-hmm. If it's like the money aspect. If you don't tell your money where to go, it's just going to disappear on you, and you're going to wonder, where did my money go? Yeah. I would much rather know and tell it. And the same with my time. I want to tell my time where to go, where to be allocated to. A statement that I make and I want to stress and emphasize here. So write this down. Busyness is not the same as fruitfulness.
Yeah.
Busyness is not the same as productive. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're being productive. We've known people, they're always running and going. They're always busy. But at the end of the day, they didn't get anything done.
Yeah.
So be fruitful with your time. Time management is really life management under God's authority. And you can look back, you talked about your calendar. You can look back at your calendar and reveal your priorities and realize what am I prioritizing in life by looking at my calendar. Ecclesiastes, right. Solomon wrote to us, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Time management it's about discernment and knowing what to do and when to do it.
Yeah, that's good. I think that when I was listening to you give those out, like something that came to my mind was how people really do like to be in control. And of course, God is the ultimate authority and control. But when you do manage your time well, that does give you a little bit more power over your day and your world. Like managing it better, you will go to bed at night feeling more at peace and at ease.
Yeah, but seek first the kingdom of God. Is right. Time management reveals, it starts with priorities. God first, then everything else aligns.
Yes.
But seek first the kingdom of God. If you can get your time management in order and get your priorities in check, you will be much, much, much better off.
Yeah. Speaking of priorities, we've heard the old adage, time is money, like you just talked about. It can be invested, like money is invested and give you a return. You can budget your time like you have a money budget. And most of us, I would say most of everybody believes that, but a lot of us still spend time way reckless than we would ever think about spending money. And when you really value your time the same way you value your money, I think you would see a difference in the way you manage it. So if you've tuned into this podcast because you feel like you have a time management problem or issue, it could just be that you may have a priority issue and you're like, I don't have a priority issue, but maybe you haven't really thought about how valuable your time actually is. Maybe you need to start thinking of your time as priceless. That also helps me when I think of my time as priceless, because it really is to me, because I only have so much of it. That helps me to govern the things I do as well as the things that I don't do. I don't do things that don't bring me joy unless it's a necessary thing, and I do lots of things that bring me joy or I see value in, like my family. I see that very valuable. I see my church, Cornerstone, is so valuable. I see vacations as very valuable.
I was thinking the beach. Time there's
consequently, nice. Because I like to go to the beach, I also have to see time at work as valuable.
As valuable.
So I must manage well. And I have this thought that I want to try to explain well, and I hope it's received well. The better you manage over time, the more your time investments will pay off. And at some point in your life, I hope you have the option to buy time. I had a teacher in school, and she assigned homework. I think she was my third grade teacher. She was assigned a lot of homework and extra projects, and she insisted that we all had the same exact 24 hours in our days. And for some reason, that never sat well with me. And the older I got, the more I realized, no, we don't all have the same 24 hours in a day, because there are some students that I went to school with, they had to go to work after school. And some students whose time was taken up by other very necessary obligations. I'm not talking about extracurricular. I'm just talking about kids who had to be doing things. And then there's grown adults, and some have managed their time and resources as such where they have a flexible life and they're allowed privileges and luxuries. For example, maybe you're able to hire things to be done, like hiring a crew to take care of your yard or clean your house, versus having to scrape up your hours on the weekends or at night after a long day. That's a luxury. I get groceries delivered to my home. That's a luxury. I'm so thankful for it. It's not breaking the budget. I wish I had more luxuries. But whenever I pay that yearly subscription for the grocery delivery, it's not that much, but I still feel like I'm buying time. It really does help out. And if that's not something that can enter the conversation in your house right now, I'd encourage you to keep managing your resources, your time and your money well. And then maybe one day it will be if you're a wise and generous steward.
I think it was you and I, we were talking about the private jet
Yep.
commercial, and the salesman said his approach to people never was about the cost of the jet. He would
Yeah.
always tell them, "You're buying your time."
Yeah. So you can stay out of airports.
Yeah.
et
So you're
cetera.
not sitting
Set your
in an
schedule.
airport for
Set
4
your
hours.
flight schedule.
Yeah, and dealing with delays and dealing with difficulties of flying that we've all experienced. And that was his approach to certainly the super wealthy and
Yeah.
the luxuries of life. Was that you're buying your time. And think about that when you look around at some of the things you do or don't do. Are you buying your time with it? So here's a challenge to our listeners. Look at your week, look at your month, and if someone saw your schedule, what would they say your priorities are?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And you were talking about that, and you mentioned church. If somebody looks at a full week and sees 1 hour or 1 hour and a half at church, is church really a priority?
Yeah.
So I think that's certainly eye-opening to me. If we look at our week and look back over where is my time going, what would people say your priorities are in life?
Yeah. And what is something you could change this week to invest your time where it really, really matters? Is it prayer? Is it family time? Is it resting time? Resting your mind, resting your body?
Yeah, time's not just something we spend; it's something we invest in for eternity. And I want to make good investments in this life, and time is certainly one of them. And I want to look back with kids, my relationship with you, and I want to say I wish I had more time. Now I will say that at the end of the day, but I hope there's a whole lot of good memories. I can say, you know
Yeah.
what, I spent a lot of time
Yes.
there, and I made a lot of investments there that's going to pay dividends for eternity.
No
Yeah,
regrets.
absolutely.
Well, all good things must come to an end.
Speaking of time,
Speaking of time for us to go get to our family.
thank you for joining us on all things time management.
Until next time.
Use your time wisely.